Are you trying to decide if you should buy the Meta Quest 3 at £469 or the newly released and cheaper 3S for £289? Well, if you are, I'm going to make this very easy for you. Get the 3S. That's it. Thanks for joining. Hit that thumbs up and that subscribe button, and I'll see you back for another episode of STU'S Reviews soon. Somehow, I've got to drag this on now for 10 more minutes so I can put mid-roll ads in. And I'm sure there's a few of you, though, that might want to actually know why I think you should get the 3S over the 3, and you might want to know why I also think that the 3S is perhaps the best virtual reality headset available and the best mixed reality headset you can buy right now. Now, form factor wise, there aren't too many dissimilarities between the two. Although it's very obvious that they are two different units, indicated by two things on the front of the device: the different placement of sensors and the large venting around the exterior. The Quest 3S is also slightly longer, which is due to the lens system, which uses the same lens system as in the 2, which I'll come back to shortly. Now, the only other mentionable difference on the form factor is the addition of a new button on the S, which when pressed flips you between virtual reality and mixed reality. On the 3, this is a double tap on the side of the headset, which isn't bad, but smacking the side of the visor that you're wearing is pretty jarring. A simple button press actually feels more natural and less jarring, so this is at least a design positive over the 3. But unfortunately, there's one thing that remains unchanged on the form factor. They both come with the same horrific elasticated strap system, and let me tell you something. This strap feels like I've been forced to wear a 16th century torture device, which makes me confess that I'm a witch. It feels like hell itself has crawled out of the abyss and found its way into this strap, cursing the wearer and giving discomfort that you might have only experienced in a car crash. And that's my top tip for literally anyone buying a Quest 3 or 3S. Make sure you buy an elite strap like I've done for the 3. You'll thank me later for it, I promise you that. But when it comes to the actual hardware specs, this is perhaps even harder to spot the differences than the form factor, because on paper these are just so similar. They both have the exact same processor, the Snapdragon XR2 Gen 2, which is an excellent little processor that can actually create some really immersive experiences, despite being considered a mobile processor. They both have an 8GB of DRAM, and the base storage size on both is 128GB. The refresh rate is the same, with capabilities for 72, 90 and 120Hz. They both have the exact same ability to track the hands as well as the same controllers. They both have the same pass-through resolution too, allowing for that mixed reality experience that was introduced on the Quest 3. So what is different, and how on earth is the 3S so much cheaper than the 3? Well, despite all of that, there are some subtle differences which do change the core experience, but surprisingly, there's only a couple. And the first is the display resolution. The Quest 3 has a resolution of 2064 by 2208 per eye, giving a pixel density of 1218 pixels per inch. The Quest 3S, on the other hand, has a resolution of 1832 by 1920 per eye with a pixel density of 773. Now that means that the 3S has a quality that works out around 35% lower than the 3. Now you would think that this would make quite a big difference, and in truth it does, a bit. But I personally think that it makes less of a difference than you'd expect. But interestingly about this pixel density, there's another device that has the same pixel density as the new 3S, and that's the previous generation Quest 2. And the resolution isn't the only thing that it shares with the Quest 2, because as I've mentioned here, the second difference is the form of lenses. These are almost identical to the Quest 2 in that they've gone back to the Fresnel style lens rather than the new pancake lenses found in the Quest 3. Now what this translates to There's a lower FOV when wearing the headset, down to 96 degrees from 110 on the horizontal and 90 down from 96 on the vertical. It also means that you've got less adjustment within the lenses themselves, and like the Quest 2, you've only got the ability to adjust the width of the lenses between 3 positions. Now, I will say that it's very obvious coming from a Quest 3 to a 3S in terms of the overall visual clarity and immersion. The pancake lenses in the 3 have really done wonders, and it was one of the biggest changes to the experience that, in my opinion, helped exceed my expectations for an untethered headset. You can immediately tell when using the 3S that the quality is slightly lower, and also that your vision feels somewhat more funneled. But this is me making a comparison between the two, having used the 3 for the past year, but the 3S isn't for people who already have a 3, it's for literally everyone else. So if we were to talk objectively rather than comparatively, the lens system and resolution is not bad at all with the 3S. In fact, for £289, you could say it's bloody remarkable. The experience that it gives you is almost identical to that of the 3. And if you knew no different, the 3S is capable of giving you that wow feeling just as much as the same way as the more expensive headset can, simply because of the fact that all of the features remain much the same. The games and experiences play just as fast and almost as good a quality, albeit there could be an argument here that the quality could be better for the games, as in the graphics could be better on the 3S because the resolution is lower, so the processor could be pushed harder. So in theory, the graphics could be better on the 3S. But that's not the only thing that's been impacted by the resolution change, is the battery as well. Because of the lower resolution, the battery life lasts a tiny bit longer than the standard 3. So that's very, very interesting that this potentially has some specs that could exceed some areas of the 3. Not all. Well, certainly some. But along with this, the pass-through experiences for mixed reality also don't really suffer at all, despite the drop in display resolution. And if you're coming from something like the Quest 2, this experience with full colour pass-through will blow your mind compared to the blurry, low-resolution black and white experiences you get in the old generation. If you've never experienced mixed reality, the experience between the 3 and 3S is so similar that your reaction will be the same whichever headset you get. And here is where I mentioned the asterisk at the very start. The Quest 3S is the best headset you can buy right now, and that's because of the raw value that this offers. Technically speaking, it's not the best when it comes to performance, but there is nothing else that offers this experience anywhere near this price point. And this is why I think this is the best headset for VR and mixed reality you can get. Thing is, normally I'd sit here and twiddle my thumbs until I think of something Meta could have done better, or something that I don't like about it. But on this occasion, I actually don't think there's anything worth fully criticising. I mean, I still hate with a burning passion the witch hunter's torture device on the back. But it's a bit more forgiving on a device that's £289, and if anything, it makes the fact that the 3 still comes with this strap even more embarrassing. But that's it. I've got to really commend Meta with this release. They've made this mixed reality, futuristic experience super affordable. And that's incredible. And they've not sacrificed, in my opinion, any of the core experience at all. And they haven't fragmented it either. They haven't even slowed it down or made it less capable, which means that you'll get the best experience from all the current games and apps with just a slight drop in resolution. Now, I'm not saying that you should completely ignore the 3. If you want the best possible experience that Meta offer, then it's safe to say that you should spend the extra £180. But do you need to? No, absolutely not. Your experience won't really be much worse off if you went with the cheaper option, and that's something I rarely say. And it's for this reason why I think this is going to sell like hotcakes this Christmas, and why I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up being sold out until after Christmas, within a couple of weeks of its launch, if not straight away. So going back to the beginning, should you buy the Quest 3 or the 3S? Well, if you have the money spare and want the best experience you can get, then the 3 is the obvious choice. But for once, for the average individual, my money's on the cheaper option. What do you guys think of the Quest 3S? Do you think the price is so low that it could tempt even the non-VR users? Or do you think the resolution dip and the lens regression turns you away from it? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And also, if you already have a Quest 3 or 3S, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the strap. Is it just me that feels like it does an operation on you every time you wear it, or is it actually comfortable? And like I said at the very beginning, if I've helped you decide whether the 3S is for you or not, then make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe button to see more, and I'll see you back for another episode of STU'S Reviews soon.